My girlfriend said, "I'm leaving you for a man with real money, but we can still be friends." Across our kitchen table, I replied, "Agreed." Then cut off every bill, treated her exactly like a friend, until she asked for help in public and realized who was. She left me for a man with real money and said we should stay friends, so I treated her like one. That's when everything fell apart. Blair sat across from me at our kitchen table, the one I helped her pick out at that warehouse sale last spring, and said the words I should have seen coming. "Nolan, I think we're better as friends." I stared at her for a second. 2 years. 2 years of covering rent gaps when her shifts got cut. 2 years of being her ride to work because her car was always one repair away from dying. 2 years of dinners I paid for, work outfits I funded because she said looking good was part of the job, emergencies that somehow always landed in my lap, the carburetor replacement that cost $800, the security deposit on this apartment that I covered when she was between paychecks, the bottle service outfits from Nordstrom that she absolutely needed because image was everything in her line of work. She kept talking. "I need someone with more ambition, more excitement. You're stable, and that's great, but I need more than stable right now." I felt my jaw tighten. Stable. Like it was an insult. Like showing up every day, managing a team of mechanics, building a side business on weekends while she slept until noon was somehow boring. Like reliability was a character flaw. I nodded slowly. "Is there someone else?" She hesitated, then said it like she was doing me a favor by being honest. "His name is Grant. He's in commercial real estate. He gets what I'm trying to build." "What are you trying to build?" I asked. It came out sharper than I intended. "A life, Nolan. A real life. Not just scraping by and hoping things get better someday." I almost laughed. We weren't scraping by. I had a decent job, benefits, retirement contributions. The side business was pulling in an extra $1,500 a month. We had savings. Or I did anyway. Blair's account was always mysteriously empty despite the tips she claimed to make. "And Grant can give you that? He understands ambition. He drives a BMW. He takes me to places where people know his name." She paused, and I saw something flicker across her face. Guilt, maybe, or just the discomfort of having to explain herself. "You're a good person, Nolan. You really are. But I need more." I felt that familiar tightness in my chest, the one I always got when she accused me of being controlling for asking where she was at 2 in the morning. The one I got when she rolled her eyes at my weekend detailing jobs, calling them cute hobbies while she networked with bottle service clients who left $100 tips. But this time, instead of arguing or defending myself, I just said, "Okay." She blinked. "Okay. Yeah. Friends it is." I stood up, grabbed my keys from the counter, and told her I had an early shift. She sat there looking confused, like she expected me to beg or explode or demand explanations. I gave her none of those things. The next morning, I opened a new bank account, took my name off the shared subscriptions, changed the Netflix password, canceled the insurance policy I carried on her car. I texted her a simple message, "Moved my stuff to a new account. You'll need to update your autopay for rent and utilities." She called me within an hour. "Nolan, what are you doing?" "What do you mean?" "You just canceled everything. I have rent due in 3 days." "I know. You'll need to handle that now." There was a long pause. "Are you serious right now?" "You said we're friends, Blair. Friends don't fund each other's lifestyles." She started to say something, stopped, then tried again. "You're really going to be like this?" "I'm being a friend. Good friends have boundaries." She hung up. 2 hours later, she texted, "Can we at least talk about this like adults?" I didn't respond. 3 days later, she showed up at the fleet yard where I work. I was finishing an inspection on one of our delivery vans when I saw her walking across the lot in heels that had no business being near motor oil and gravel. "Nolan," I looked up. "Hey, can we talk? I'm working." "This will just take a minute." She glanced around, saw a couple of my co-workers watching. Lowered her voice. "I just need a little help this month. Grant's been busy and I'm short on the rent. Just this once. As a friend." I set down my clipboard. "I can't help you with that." Her face shifted from pleading to something sharper. "Are you kidding me right now? After everything? After everything, you told me we're better as friends. So that's what we are, and friends don't cover each other's rent. She stared at me like I'd just spoken a foreign language. Then she turned and walked back to her car, and I watched her tires kick up dust as she peeled out of the lot. My buddy Rhett called me that night. He works as a 911 dispatcher and has a gift for reading people even through a phone line. We'd been friends since high school, and he'd watched the entire Blair situation unfold with the patient concern of someone who cared but knew better than to interfere. So I heard Blair paid you a visit. Word travels fast. She posted something on Instagram about fake friends and people changing when they get bitter. Figured she meant you. He paused. How are you holding up? Honestly? Better than I expected. I thought I'd be angrier. You? Angry? Nolan, you're the guy who apologizes when someone else bumps into you. You don't do anger. You do slow burn resentment until you quietly disconnect and move on. He wasn't wrong. She's mad I won't pay her bills anymore. Good. Let her be mad. You know what you should do? Focus on that side business of yours. You've been talking about expanding for months. Now you don't have anyone draining your wallet every week. I'd been thinking the same thing. The detailing business had started almost by accident. A coworker asked if I could clean his truck before a family wedding. Did a good job, he told his brother. His brother managed a small delivery company. Suddenly I had weekend work. Then one of their clients asked for a quote. It snowballed from there, but I never had the energy to push it further. Between the full-time job and managing Blair's latest crisis, there just wasn't room. I've got a list of contacts I never followed up with, I admitted. Fleet managers, operations directors, people who actually need regular service, not just one-time washes. So follow up. What's stopping you now? Nothing. That was the thing. Nothing was stopping me now. That weekend, I sat down with a spreadsheet and built a real pricing structure. Materials, labor, drive time, equipment depreciation. Added a margin that reflected the quality of work I delivered. Sent out emails to fleet managers I knew from work, people who'd mentioned wanting reliable service but never getting around to finding someone. 3 responded within 2 days. One of them wanted a quote for a bi-weekly cleaning service for their 12-vehicle fleet. Company vans mostly. Nothing fancy, but steady work. Predictable income. I sent the quote on Monday morning. They accepted on Wednesday afternoon. Signed a 90-day trial contract with an option to extend. Blair, meanwhile, kept texting. Nostalgic messages about trips we took, inside jokes, late-night calls where she'd cry and say she missed me. I kept my responses short, polite, distant. Then one day she texted, Grant wants his car detailed for a client event this weekend. I told him you're the best. Can you do it? I stared at that message for a full minute. Then I replied, Sure. My rate for luxury vehicles is $300 for a full detail. He can book through my website. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Are you seriously going to charge him? I charge everyone. It's a business. This is so petty, Nolan. It's professional. She didn't respond. An hour later, Grant called me directly. His voice had that smooth, practiced quality of someone used to selling things. Hey man, Blair mentioned you do detailing. I've got a BMW that needs some love before a big event. She said you might be able to hook me up. I can get you scheduled. What day works? How about Saturday morning? And she mentioned you might do a friends and family rate? Standard rate is $300. I can have it done by noon. Silence. Then, $300? That's pretty steep. That's the rate for the level of work you're looking for. He made a sound like he was thinking it over, then said, You know what? Let me check some other options. I'll get back to you. He never called back. Blair sent me a message that night. You just lost a client because you couldn't be flexible. This is why your business will never grow. I didn't respond to that either. 2 weeks later, Rhett helped me formalize everything. Business license, liability insurance, a proper schedule. I started turning weekend gigs into weekday contracts. Small stuff at first, but steady. Then one of my contacts introduced me to Erica Vance. Erica was the operations director at a logistics company that ran a fleet of 40 vehicles. She'd been looking for a reliable cleaning service, and my name came up through a mutual connection. We scheduled a meeting to talk logistics, pricing, and long-term service agreements. She suggested we meet at a rooftop lounge near their main hub. It's quieter than the office, she said. And they make a decent espresso martini if we're still talking after the business part. I agreed. I didn't know it was the same lounge where Blair worked. I arrived 15 minutes early, checked in with the host, and was led to a corner table with a view of the Dallas skyline. Erica showed up right on time, all business in a sharp blazer and the kind of handshake that meant she didn't waste energy on small talk. We talked fleet sizes, service intervals, equipment requirements. She asked smart questions. I gave detailed answers. It felt good, professional, like I was being taken seriously for the first time in months. That's when I saw Blair. She was across the lounge, carrying a tray of drinks to a group of men in suits. She hadn't noticed me yet, but I knew it was only a matter of time. Erica was in the middle of asking about scheduling flexibility when Blair's eyes landed on me. I saw the recognition hit her face. Then confusion. Then something that looked like panic when she saw Erica sitting across from me, leaning forward, smiling, clearly engaged in whatever I was saying. I kept my focus on Erica. We moved through the conversation smoothly. She liked my pricing structure. She appreciated that I had insurance and references. We shook on a trial period, 3 months, with the option to extend if things went well. I'll send over the contract details Monday, she said, sliding her business card across the table. That's when Grant showed up. He was loud before I even saw him. His voice cut through the ambient music and low conversation, the kind of volume that makes people turn their heads. He appeared at the bar, slapping his hand on the counter, already halfway through some story about closing a deal. Blair went to him immediately. I watched her smile, the same bright, performative smile she used to give me when she wanted something. She said something to him, gestured toward the corner where I was sitting. Grant's eyes followed her hand, landed on me, then on Erica. His smile faltered for just a second. Then he threw an arm around Blair and kissed her temple, a little too aggressively, like he was marking territory. Erica noticed the shift in energy. She glanced over, raised an eyebrow. "Friend of yours?" "Ex-girlfriend," I said simply. "And her new boyfriend." Erica nodded, didn't press. We finished our drinks and stood to leave. That's when Blair intercepted me near the exit. "Nolan." Her voice was tight. "This isn't your scene." I looked at her, really looked at her. She had that same desperation in her eyes that she'd had at the Fleet Yard, but now it was mixed with something else. Embarrassment, maybe. Fear. "I'm here for business," I said calmly. Grant appeared behind her, swaying slightly. Up close, I could smell the whiskey. He sized me up like we were in a competition I didn't know I'd entered. "So you're the ex." He grinned. "Blair's told me all about you, man. No hard feelings, yeah? She just needed someone who could keep up with her lifestyle." I nodded. "Sounds like you're a good match then." Erica was standing a few feet away, waiting for me, but watching the interaction with the focus of someone who reads people for a living. The valet manager approached Grant, polite but firm. "Excuse me, sir. There's an issue with your card for the tab and valet service." Grant waved him off. "Run it again." "We've tried 3 times, sir. It's declining." The air shifted. I saw Grant's face change, the confident mask cracking. Blair's smile froze. "That's impossible," Grant said, louder now. "Try a different card." The manager nodded, disappeared. Came back 2 minutes later. "Sir, the second card also declined. The total is $473. People were watching now. The kind of watching that happens when someone's carefully constructed image starts to collapse in real time. Blair's eyes darted around, landing on coworkers, regulars, witnesses. Then they landed on me. She crossed the space between us in 4 steps, lowered her voice to a whisper, the kind that still carried in the silence that had fallen over our corner of the lounge. "Nolan, please. Just this once. As a friend." I looked at her. I saw the girl who told me I wasn't ambitious enough, the girl who said I was controlling when I asked questions, the girl who left me for a man with real money, and then asked if we could still be friends, assuming friendship meant I'd still pay her way. I said quietly, "I can't help you." Her face crumpled. Grant turned on her, his voice sharp and accusing. "You said he was broke. You said he had nothing." "He doesn't," she stammered. "He's just a maintenance guy who..." He's sitting here having business meetings while I can't cover a bar tab. Grant's voice was getting louder. You lied to me. Blair started crying. Real tears. Not the performative kind she used to deploy when she wanted me to apologize for things I hadn't done. These were the tears of someone watching everything fall apart and realizing there was no safety net. I turned and walked to where Erica was standing. She'd watched the whole thing with the calm assessment of someone who'd seen plenty of personal drama play out in professional spaces. We walked to the valet together. She handed over her ticket, then looked at me. You handled that well. I didn't do anything. Exactly. She smiled. Call me tomorrow. Let's talk about next steps for that contract. I drove home in silence, hands steady on the wheel, mind surprisingly quiet. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls from Blair and a string of texts that started with apologies and ended with accusations. I didn't read past the first 3. Rhett called around noon. So apparently Blair and Grant had a very public meltdown at the Presidio last night. It's all over social media. I was there. You were? And you didn't mention it? Didn't seem worth mentioning, he laughed. Man, I wish I could have seen her face when she realized you weren't going to bail her out. It wasn't satisfying like you'd think, just sad. You're too nice. She spent 2 years treating you like an ATM and calling it love. He wasn't wrong. Over the next week, Blair's messages continued. Long apologies, requests to meet and talk, assurances that Grant was gone and she'd made a terrible mistake. Messages to my friends asking them to convince me to give her another chance. Even a call to my mom, who politely told her I was doing fine. I responded once. I forgive you. We're not getting back together. Rhett pointed out something I hadn't considered. Some of her messages were worded to make me look bad if I reacted emotionally. Screenshots asking for closure that could frame me as cruel if I ignored her. Texts painting herself as someone just trying to apologize. She's building a narrative, Rhett said. Don't give her ammunition. So I didn't. I saved everything, stayed calm, kept my distance. Erica's company signed the contract. 3 months, bi-weekly service, with performance reviews each month. The money was steady, better than projected. I hired part-time help, bought better equipment, started looking at bigger spaces. I moved out of the apartment Blair and I had shared. Found a 1-bedroom closer to the Fleet Yard, nothing fancy, but mine. Fully mine. No shared bills, no justifying expenses, no one questioning why I worked weekends. I started sleeping better. Stopped checking my phone every 5 minutes. Stopped bracing for the next crisis. 3 months after the lounge incident, Blair sent a final message. I'm sorry. I didn't know what I had. I read it twice. Thought about responding. Decided against it. Rhett asked me about it later. She finally admitted it. Huh. Yeah. How's it feel? I thought about that. Really thought about it. It doesn't feel like winning, I said. It just feels like I finally stopped losing, he nodded. That's probably healthier. The contract with Erica's company got extended, then expanded. They referred me to 2 other logistics companies. By year's end, I had enough steady work to quit my supervisor job and run the business full-time. I didn't do it to prove anything to Blair. I didn't do it to show her what she'd lost. I did it because for the first time in 2 years, I wasn't managing someone else's chaos. I had space to build something actually mine. Sometimes I still think about that night at the lounge. The way her face looked when she realized I wasn't going to save her. The way Grant turned on her the second his image cracked. The way Erica watched it all and still chose to do business with me because I stayed calm while everything burned. I think about the message Blair sent. We're better as friends. She wanted friendship as a safety net, a way to keep me close enough to use but far enough to avoid accountability. She wanted the benefits without the commitment, the support without expectations, knowing I'd always catch her when she fell. I gave her friendship with boundaries. Real friendship. The kind where you care about someone, but don't sacrifice yourself to keep them comfortable. That's what ended everything. Not anger, not revenge, not some grand confrontation, just boundaries. Clear, calm, consistent boundaries. She couldn't handle a version of me that wasn't accessible on demand. Couldn't handle friendship without financial support or emotional labor or being available whenever her life got complicated. She didn't want me. She wanted what I provided. When I stopped providing it, there was nothing left. I don't hate her. I don't think about her much anymore. When I do, it's with something like pity. She's still out there looking for someone to fund the lifestyle she thinks she deserves, confusing money with value and attention with love. I'm here running a business I built from weekend side gigs, working with clients who respect my time, living in a space that's entirely mine, sleeping well. That's the real ending. Not the dramatic confrontation, not the public breakdown, not even the apology. The real ending is me building a life where I'm not waiting for the next person to realize my worth. Just me, showing up, doing good work, setting boundaries, and meaning it when I say no. That's what winning looks like. And Blair was right about one thing. We are better as friends. We're just not friends anymore.